Hey, fabulous fourth graders. Welcome to week 6. This week, we're going to be learning about measurement. And measurement is one of my favorite objectives because I use measurement all the time. One of my favorite things to do is to bake. I baked some bagels the other day. And in order to bake my bagels and make sure my dough could rise, I had to have the correct measurement. I also really like to sew. I've been sewing these face masks for people who work in the medical field in our area. And in order to make them, I have to make sure that the fabric's the same length, the elastic is the right length, so I have to measure and have accurate measurements for those. So measurement is a big part of the things I like to do. Our I can statement for today is I can identify the equivalent measure between units within the US customary system. And for this objective, we get to use a calculator, so that's pretty exciting. You get to have a pencil, paper, and a calculator. All right. The word equivalent, before we begin, just want to make sure we know what that word means. That just means that it's equal. So we're finding equal measures between units. So we're going to want to video to learn a little bit more about what that means and how exactly to do that.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. There's more at Embark Online. You can tweet me, and there is the Pie Guy. All right, this is 4th grade, Module 7, Lesson 1, and in this lesson, students are going to be creating conversion tables for length, width, capacity, weight, and all that sort of stuff. So the idea is students are going to not have to memorize this like a conversion factor, 12 inches in 1 foot. But the idea is we're going to give that to them, and then they're going to create a table, kind of like a lookup table. And the idea is this is actually going to lead towards 6th grade ratios and proportions, which is actually kind of cool. So let's get started on this. So the directions say, complete the tables, and the idea is we see yards and feet in this case, and we're supposed to fill in the number of feet for each of these given number of yards. So 1 yard is, and of course that answer is 3 feet, which means 2 yards is 6 feet, which means 3 yards is 9 feet. And the idea is we're supposed to recognize, you take the number of yards and times by 3, and that's going to give us the feet. So 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. So what are we going to do right here? Now, a lot of kids are going to want to just say 3, 6, 9, 12. A lot of students are going to want to just say 12. But no, we know that it's actually going to be times 3, which is 15. So we actually know it's 15. And then, of course, down here is going to be 30. Because we can see that 10 times 3 is 30. And going over here, the conversion factors, I'm going to just get you started. 12 inches in 1 foot, so that means 2 feet is going to be 24 inches. And what's our conversion? We're multiplying by 12 in each of these cases. And then way over here, yards to inches. Well, the idea is we know that there are 36 inches in a yard. Now, how do we know that? We could put it together. We know that 1 yard is 3 feet. So if I wanted to, I could say, well, here's 1 yard, and that 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot. And we know that each of these is cut into 12 inches. 12 inches and 12 inches. So 1 whole yard. So if this whole thing is 1 yard, that whole thing, let's see, is 1 yard, that we see that, oh, that's equal to 36 inches, because 12 plus 12 plus 12 is 36. Pretty straightforward. Well, that means our conversion factor, our multiplication, is going to be times 36. So 3, here's a heads up, 3 times 36. So that's going to be 108. 108. So now we can use those conversion tables from the previous slide to answer any of these questions. For example, let's take a look at this one. So this says 2 yards and 2 inches, and we're supposed to convert it into inches. Well, so 2 yards, and I'm going to draw the picture even though we don't have to. So here's 1 yard, here's another yard plus 2 little inches, all right? And this is just representing inches. Inches are not necessarily round like that. I just wanted to indicate. Okay, so 2 yards, 2 inches. Well, each of these yards is 36 inches. So there's 36 inches, here's 36 inches, plus we have 2 more inches. So all we have to do is add 36 plus 36 plus 2, so that's 74 inches. So we know that 74 inches goes right there. Oh, let's say, let's do this one. Oh, no, let's do this one, F. So 11 yards, 1 foot. So, and we want to convert it into feet. So we have 11 yards. Well, 11 yards, and I'm not going to draw it, but I'm going to say we got 11 yards right here. So this is 11 yards. And if we want to know how many feet that is, we're going to multiply by 3. And so 11 times 3 is 33. So that gives us, this is 33 feet, but we've got 11 yards plus 1 more foot, plus 1 more foot. So how many feet do we have all together in 11 yards plus 1 foot? Well, the answer is 34 feet. So here we've got Allie, good old Allie, and she has a piece of string that is 6 yards, 2 feet long. How many inches of string does she have? So we've got yards and feet, but we want to know about inches. Yards and feet, but we want to know inches, all right? So if we wanted to, we could draw a picture, and the picture might look like, okay, 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, and then 2 feet. And we know it takes 3 feet to make a yard, so I'm going to kind of just like indicate this by circles again. So we've got our 6 yards, and 2 feet. Now, if we want to know how many inches we have, well, our lookup table says we've got 36 inches right here, 36 here, 36 here, 36, 36, 36. And then in each of these feet, we have 12 inches. So what do we have all together? All together, we have 6 times 36, plus we have to add in 2 times 12. 6 times 36 is how many inches we have from the yards. 2 times 12 is how many inches we have from the feet. So what is 6 times 36? Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to do it in my head. 6, 3, 18, 216 plus 24. And so that gives us 230, 240. So that gives us 240 inches in this huge length right there. This is just another lookup table, but it's pounds and ounces. Students might be a little less comfortable with the concept of pounds and ounces. So the big conversion that I'll let us all know is that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, which means 2 pounds is 32 ounces. So what is our conversion? Well, it's 16 times 16. So 2 pounds times 16 gives us 32. So down here, 4 times 16 gives us 64. And we could just keep going. 10 times 16, that's really easy. We could do that in our head. All we have to do is stick on a 0, right? Because we learned that trick a long time ago. Now, here's a nice one. Here's a kind of a cool idea, 12. Well, we know we're going to do 12 times 16. That's one way. But another way we could do it is, well, I know that 12 is 10 plus 2. And so 10 is 160 ounces, and 2 pounds is 32 ounces. So I could do 160 plus 32 and get my answer of 192. Now that's my answer. Now, and I did it by adding 10 and 2 gives us 12. So that means 160 plus 32 gives me 192. Now if I really wanted to, I could check. I can multiply 12 times 16, and heck, let's do it. So we've got 2 times 6 is 12. And then 2 times 1 is 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So we got 30. And then I'm going to put that 0. And now we're going to multiply by this 1, this 10. So 10 times 6, 10 times 10. And so that's going to give us 6 and a 1. Add those together, you get 192. And that's exactly, oops, right there, exactly what we knew. So here it says Renee's sister, baby sister, weighs 7 pounds 2 ounces. How many ounces does her sister weigh? So we've just in the previous slide learned that to turn pounds, 7 pounds, into ounces, you're going to do 7 times 16, which equals 112 ounces. And then we have an additional 2 ounces. So 7 pounds 2 ounces is going to be 112 plus an extra 2, which gives us 114 ounces. And so that is our answer right there. And we know that because of our previous slide where we had that conversion factor. Each pound is 16 ounces. So 7 times 16 plus an extra 2. And that wraps up a fun one. 4th grade, Module 7.
What a great video. And now it's your turn to try some. So our first one we're going to try is miles and yards. So we're going to find out how many yards are in a mile. 1 mile is equivalent to 1,760 yards. So 2 miles, we could do 1,760 times 2, like we just saw in the video, or we can add 1,760 plus 1,760 to get our answer. And then we could add one more 1,760 to get 3 miles and continue on. Or we could do 1,760 times 3 times 4 and so on to complete the chart. And then at the bottom, you need to come up with the rule for converting yards to miles. Then for this one, we're looking at changing feet into inches. So this one is done for us. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So how many inches are in 2 feet? Well, we can do 12 plus 12. But then when we get to here for 5, it's not going in order, we're skipping around. So 5, we want to do 12 plus 12 plus 12 and add 12 5 times, or we could just say 12 times 5 times, and then we could do 12 times 10 and 12 times 50. And then you come up with the rule right here. All right, so go ahead and push pause so you can solve those two. And when you're ready, go ahead and push play for the next set of problems. All right, for next one, we have some practical problems here. And we're going to use the read, draw, write strategy. And we need to know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. So our first problem, Evan put a 2-pound weight on one side of the scale. How many 1-ounce weights will he need to put on the other side of the scale to make them equal? Then the second problem, Julius put a 3-pound weight on one side of the scale. Abel put 35 1-ounce weights on the other side. How many 1-ounce weights does Abel need to balance the scale? All right, so pause, answer the problems, and then push play for the next one. All right, so for these, we're going to be looking at 3 feet, 1 inch. How many inches is that equal to? So up here we know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. We can also use that conversion table and add some more to it. On our next one, is 142 inches is equal to how many feet and how many inches? So again, 12 inches, equals 1 foot. And then you can try and figure this one out. All right, so good luck on those. When you're ready, push play and we can check your work and see how you did. All right, how'd you do? So here's our first chart. If you need to pause to check all of your answers, feel free to pause so you can see and make sure you have all the right answers. But what I did is I just multiplied each of the number of miles times 1,760 yards. And that's our rule, is multiply the number of miles times 1,700. And then for feet to inches, the rule is to multiply the number of feet times 12, and that will help you get your answer. And for these, it made it a little bit more simple to use those calculators that we could have as our materials in the beginning. All right, our next one, sorry, I clicked too quickly. All right, Evan put a 2-pound weight. So here's our 2-pound weight. How many ounces do we put on the other side to make it even? So what I did here is I drew all of the ounces. So 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So here's 16 and here's 16 more. We could say 16 plus 16 is 32, or 16 times 2 equals 32. So Evan needed 32 1-ounce weights on the other side of the scale to make them equal. All right, and then for our second one, Julius has 3 pounds on one side and Abel put 35 ounces on the other side. How many more 1-ounce weights does Abel need? So here we see that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So here's 16, 16, 16. So he already has 35. So here's 16, 32, 33, 34, 35. So how many are left? There are 13 ounce weights left to equal 3 pounds. Or we could say 16 ounces times 3 pounds gives us 48 ounces. 48 minus the 35 he already has gives us 13 ounces. So Abel will need 13 more 1-ounce weights on the balance scale. So there's a couple different ways we can solve that one. All right, and then for this one, 3 feet and 1 inch equals how many inches? So 3 times 12 gives us 36. So 3 feet times 12 inches gives us 36 inches. Plus that 1 more inch gives us 37 inches. Then for this one, we haven't really practiced or seen examples like this. But if we are multiplying the feet times the inches to find out how many inches there are, we're going to go to the reverse. If we have the inches, we need to find out how many feet. Instead of multiplying, we're going to divide. So we're going to take 142 divided by 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot, and we have 11 with a remainder of 10. Well, that means that 11 feet, 10 inches is equal to 142 inches. So this one was a division problem, which makes it a little bit easier with a calculator. With a calculator, you'll probably get a decimal. So that makes it a little bit tricky to figure out that remainder then. All right. Well, today we were working on using those conversion charts. So you want to make sure you save your conversion charts that you use and you make during the whole week, because on Friday there's going to be a game and you can use those conversion charts to help you. All right, well, hopefully we learned something new about conversions and measurements, and we'll see you back tomorrow for some more fun math.